For Manchester City, Manuel Pellegrini quite graphically has said they've tossed their season into the garbage. Well, it'll smell a bit sweeter if they can win again at Old Trafford, which they've done in the last 3 seasons, remember. Chelsea have strengthened their hand within the last hour. But second place is within reach, despite all the best efforts of Arsenal, of course, 8 straight wins for them. But at the moment, Manchester, which has been the capital of football in recent seasons, is looking up at the capital of England with 2 clubs there.
Well, one big tactical thing to note, I just talked about David Silva playing number 10. It looks like James Milner's going to play just off Sergio Aguero, and looks like he's going to man-mark Michael Carrick.
Well, Toure winning a header against Fellaini, that could be an interesting issue as well, because Marouane Fellaini in a couple of really big games for Manchester United recently, here against Tottenham and away at Liverpool, both won and won well. Fellaini has made a very early impact. Kompany forced to put it out by the aforementioned Fellaini.
Well, it's an interesting tactical switch. Vincent Kompany showing a little bit of early nerves there, but Milner playing in a very forward position. He played centre forward for a period this season. He's going to find himself up the pitch.
Certainly when he came on at Crystal Palace, he played as an attacker on Monday night, where City had so much of the ball but none of the points. Clichy's been in trouble with Mark Clattenburg, today's referee, before. A red card at Stamford Bridge a couple of years ago.
I think it's sensible for Mark Clattenburg to have a look at this game. He's poured it down for the last half an hour to an hour here. You see challenges coming in, might be a little mistimed early on.
There is Fellaini. Taken on by Daley Blind. Challenged by De Michelis. Ashley Young has been playing very well, but who hasn't for Manchester United recently? Whether they've reached this formation, hearts out at Rooney's feet, whether they've reached the formation by trial and error or by sheer tactical genius from Louis van Gaal. It's a system that the players seem to like, and the results have been very good with it.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think the injury to Van Persie has forced Rooney to go up top. Shaw getting injured has put Blind to left back, and obviously Carrick coming back. So there's a number of things that have fallen into place for Louis van Gaal.
And it is often the way in building teams. This morning he's back in the team, and will be expected to be more disciplined than he was at Manchester City in November. He picked up 2 yellow cards in the first half. There's Milner on the front foot, as Manchester City hope to be. He's undoubtedly got the capability of winning a derby, despite this wretched recent run. 5 defeats in 7 games in all competitions. They've lost their last 3 away in the Premier League. They've won their last 3, let me remind you again, here.
I was going to say, when I saw Manuel Pellegrini's team come through, I think it gives his team a far better chance of competing and winning this match. I like the team he's picked with Milner and Navas, and I think Navas will enjoy the space at Old Trafford more than he did at Sellers Park last Monday.
Aguero, Silva, giving it back to Sergio Aguero. He's got Milner to his right. The ricochets. Smalling does the job.
Well, he does the job, but he won't want to find himself too many times inside the penalty area with Sergio Aguero facing him up.
Pitch is in very good order. by Jones, but not very far. Here's Zabaleta. Jesus Navas will have a lot of the ball at Selhurst Park, but not too much to show for those touches.
I was asking where his teammates are. Milner and Aguero both at the back post.
This is Silva. Michaelis covering right across behind company, but he didn't need to do so.
Well, I have to say, when I've seen Wayne Rooney play against Manchester City centre-backs in these last 2 or 3 seasons, they really have been aggressive against him and nullified him. He's going to have to be strong up there today, the Manchester United frontman, to get anything.
Zabaleta. Forward by Michaelis, and Navas is in the clear here. Hasn't scored a Premier League goal for some 16 months. And what a wonderful opportunity. Actually had perhaps a better opportunity to set up a chance, but Aguero is arriving in the middle. He's still in the middle. And Toure can't quite find it. And Manchester City began here sensationally last season. They scored inside the first minute, you might recall.
What a chance for Navas. He's onside. Milner and Aguero coming back. Blind can't match him, but he just hesitated, saying, I just wondered, could he have crossed it to Aguero? No, probably not. But he never really looked comfortable.
Corner for City. Milner going for it. Trying to help it on.
That's a goal for City.
Normally Company who goes towards the near post. Gone short and caught Manchester United out. And City are in again here. Yaya Toure didn't quite have that extra second that he needed. Zabaleta coming forward. Delaney heads it against Zabaleta. A little bit nervous this for Manchester United. They want to get on the ball, and they're on it now. Not for long.
That's a good challenge from Fernandinho.
Milner.
It's lively, it's fast, it's exactly what you want in a derby.
It's interesting to hear Cesc Fabregas after the Chelsea game how difficult the conditions, how different they were in West London. The sunshine, the wind, and a dry pitch. Proper football conditions, you might say here. Clichy using them to his advantage, skimming away. Milner. It's a great start this by Manchester City. David Silva, and it's a goal for Aguero. And they've got what the pressure suggested they would get. They've started fast at Old Trafford again, inside 8 minutes. Aguero, who's been out of the goals, couldn't have had an easier chance. Set up by Silva. United 0, City 1.
Well, the question was whether City had turned up the hero all right. This is absolutely magnificent football from start to finish from Clichy. This pass from Milner that you're going to see now is absolutely brilliant. The reverse pass there, it kills Manchester United's backline, and Phil Jones, he doesn't know where Aguero is. He's hovering behind him, and Silva is never going to miss a pass. He's got the composure. And for a man like Aguero, it's a tapping, but this is fantastic from Milner. That's the pass that kills the United's defence. And City, it's a brilliant start for them.
It has led to Sergio Aguero's 99th goal for Manchester City. We tend to think of the old cliche, Gary, form is temporary, class is permanent.
Well, that was the only question today. Would this Manchester City team turn up? They haven't been there the last 2 or 3 months. In this first 8 minutes, it's early in the game, particularly the last 5 of it, they've been absolutely fantastic. Even down to Fernandinho's tackle in midfield a couple of minutes before that, it sets the tone.
And what I would say, Mark Clattenburg's refereeing of that tackle, he was a yard away from it, and he saw all he needed to see to let the game go on. It's up to Rooney, beaten by Demichelis. Could be seen as a foul, and it is. And Herrera just the victim of a roll past him by Fernandinho. Jones, Blin, Sergio Aguero hasn't set that unwanted personal best of 7 games without a goal. It'll take much more than 7 minutes for that to be wiped out. Blind. Here's Valencia. To Rooney's feet, and Demichelis watching him all the way.
And that's twice now Demichelis has gone in tight with Rooney and balls played up to him.
Not quite the angle on it that Kompany was looking for to get it to Milner, who appreciated the thought. Arm raised in thanks for the consideration by the skipper.
And what Milner's giving them at the moment is energy up top. We've watched Xhaka and Aguero in the last few weeks. There hasn't been that real energy in the performance, closing down, harassing, and it's there when Milner's there.
Smalling, and he's gone into trouble. And he'll fall forward for City here. Others arriving too. United trying to group back around Aguero, who asked for handball, and United lose it again cheaply for Zabaleta.
City on the front foot everywhere.
Fernandinho. Oh, we can understand under Herrera's eagerness to try and put some sort of press on there, and Manchester United into some more controlled possession, which is very elusive for them at the moment.
Manchester City fans at home in his first 11 minutes will be absolutely delighted, but they'll be also saying, where have you been for the last 3 months, lads?
In the garbage, is what Pellegrini has said. Whatever the offer is, you're seeing from Manchester City.
The speed in the game, they're getting to the ball, everything's been right so far.
Demichelis, come back with him, hadn't actually trapped him, but dealt with a header back across. And United having to play on the counter-attack at Old Trafford. Some clever play by Herrera, some good movement by Young. A little bit of contact by Clichy.
He's bought the foul there, Ashley Young. Clichy's annoyed. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's good play from Herrera initially, and he just skips it past him. Don't think he catches him at all. And he takes the tumble. Ashley Young wins his team the free kick.
And he does have a reputation for making the most of a little bit of contact.
Well, Manchester City do keep a really high line, and the spacing behind there is quite tempting. They're just sinking back a little bit now, and that's wise of them just to move back towards that penalty spot.
Young or Mata. It's the Spaniard. Headed away comfortably by the man who gave away the free kick, Clichy.
Look at the urgency again, Navas, this time.
Look at the purpose of the clearance from David De Gea. And in goes Young. It falls for him. Manchester United are level. Ashley Young made the run, and then it fell perfectly for him to knock into the net.
We've got a proper game of football here. It came from De Gea's clearance at the other end, where Phil Jones was put under immense pressure from Navas, and they just clear it up the pitch. And City come out. It's Fellaini that just puts, I think, Zabaleta off there. It was a fantastic run across Clichy, and you just get a break of the ball. It just falls for him, Ashley Young. It ricochets back to him. We've got a proper game of football on here. A little bit of good fortune that he just gets there. It falls in his path. He wins the free kick initially. It brings that bench to life.
He recently got the winner at Newcastle very late on. He did much earlier here, and it's shaping up to be a derby delight at Old Trafford. Certainly from a neutral point of view, both sides have had something to cheer inside the opening 15 minutes.
Well, I hope they both keep this up.
Demichelis. The flag is up. Well, they found clean sheets very hard to keep recently, Manchester City. So even the scoring of an early goal here, there's no simple recipe for success. Manchester United certainly have the self-belief the way they've been playing 5 straight Premier League wins. Bouncing back.
And it's Fellaini's presence over that far side on Zabaleta that caused the confusion over there initially.
The way of dealing with it when he did recover his balance.
He was doing front crawl for about 5 seconds there.
Well, it's wet enough. Here's Fernandinho. Aguero. Up in support. And this is ball. And Aguero went to win it back there. There's certainly been nervy moments in both back lines.
Well, the thing is, both sets of forwards are putting real pressure on the ball, and both sets of defenders are very uncomfortable.
Which is why Smalling played safe and didn't try and jockey that out for a goal kick.
No, I don't think it's a day for that, or certainly a moment in the game.
No Premier League club has ever won 5 in a row against Manchester United. Liverpool managed 4 as Manchester City have done. Aguero. Michaelis. Really giving him any peace. Zabaleta. Clichy. Aguero. Guerrero's ball from Milner. Chase again as the furthest forward.
He's been lively, Aguero.
Take that on.
And he's up for it. He's been at his best these last few weeks. He started today. Looks like he means business.
In the last 43 league games when Manchester City has scored first, they haven't lost, winning 37 and 6. So Manchester United can put a dent in that.
And watching United in these last couple of months, they really love to just control the game through the back and in midfield. Louis van Gaal's philosophy is getting dragged into Derby Day. It's just so quick. It's not been allowed to happen yet.
A more settled side. You get the settled side because you get the wins, or the other way around. Very easy to prove. Oh, and David De Gea, who has been absolutely superb this season, nearly had a moment of embarrassment.
Not as a City's pressing.
Blind. Young. Goes again. Drawn out of the middle. And it's a City throw. A terrific start at Old Trafford. Carrick is making Valencia retreat a little. Over-ambitious with the return pass, and Valencia's out of position here. Smalling drawn across, Mata filling in. Clichy though, able to put in the telling cross. And David Silva's there. Aguero made the first run towards the near post. Only manufactured. Another real chance for the visitors.
And it's a couple of times that Jones had to match Aguero at that near post. There was a good little bit of defending from Michael Carrick after that, staying on his feet and not committing himself to David Silva.
By Milner, anticipated by Mata. Carrick. Played it blind to Blue. Went down, didn't hear the whistle. Had to get up and play on. United above Manchester City in the Premier League table for the first time for almost 18 months. And determined to stay there. Demichelis. A little bit narrow for City here. There's no flag. That's not to say it wouldn't have gone up if Milner had touched it, but De Gea had to play it.
Yeah, it's so good from De Gea to have a good starting position. Given.
Ashley Young thought he prevented the whole of the ball crossing the line. Michaelis and company come forward again. Plenty of height on it. Aguero, well struck too, but it only went a matter of centimetres. Offside against Jesus Navas.
Real fancy his chance. This United back four do like to push up the space in behind.
Different to playing it against Crystal.
10 men behind the ball. United's obviously a different approach here at Old Trafford, which will suit Navas.
Interesting about how Burnley and Crystal Palace went and sat in to beat Manchester City, that Barcelona actually just outplayed them. And the game that perhaps is the most relevant one was the Liverpool win over City at Anfield, a game of course where United subsequently won. And Herrera. You can see Fernandinho, here's Carrick.
He's the one that looks settled in midfield at the moment, Herrera. A bit of composure about his game.
Not bad for the first 20 minutes or so in his first derby. Wasn't involved in the Etihad in November. Milner left the card for grabbing him.
He's fine for the card. Mark Katzenberg, he's let a couple go. Look, the tug of the shirt. He's the one that's made him go.
Well, it involves the Fellaini factor, doesn't it? Free kick from here. Yaya Touré's gone across to mark him.
Well, if you think from this last position was where the first the United goal came from, it was a poor delivery from Mata that got cleared.
Young takes. That's the battle. Fellaini.
Heads it into a really good area.
That area that he's got it was off the pitch, though. An electrifying start from Manchester City here, but Manchester United get foothold in the game with a break of the ball by Ashley Young's positive towards the near post.
United will be delighted to be level at 25 minutes. City have been the better team.
And Herrera. Valencia. Held up by Silva. Carrick into Rooney, who's withstood the efforts of Di Michelis to pinch it in front of him that time. Here's Milner. We see the possibilities of that. Easier to spot from up here than down there. Touré. More of a slip than a foul. Now comes Jones. Passing the ball and the responsibility to Mata. Carrick. Fellaini was actually just back on his heels, expecting the ball to go wider, I think.
He wasn't ready for it, Fellaini. ago, Yaya Toure thought he'd been fouled. I think he did just slip. So, he just got a little bit of a tug of his shirt, Chris Smalling, but then throws himself to the ground.
Mata. I sense Manchester United wanting to keep the tempo of their play up, pass the ball quickly. It's what they've been doing in this series of wins. Young. A backfield for Blind. Goes back to Young. Wanting to try and reach the cross. Fellaini! The perfect man to reach the cross. The Giants with a gigantic goal for Manchester United. They've come back from 1-0 down to lead the derby 2-1.
Well, I have to say that goal was coming for about 20 seconds. The moment that Fellaini pulls out onto this far post, it was just a case of whether they could get it to him. And Daley Blind and Ashley Young work it really well, but it's poor from Gael Clichy. Is he just offside? He's just on the edge of it, but it's poor from such an experienced defender. He's got to see the danger behind him. He's got to be open up his body. As a good fullback should at the back. Ashley Young, they isolate Clichy, and the power of the actual header is what beats Joe Hart in the end. He gets his hands up, it just goes underneath. And United 2-1 up, and City have played well.
In every generation of football, the far post header has had a part to play.
Well, the only complaint that Manchester City can have is he just offside by a shoulder or a head?
And here he is again, inside Zabaleta. Manchester United looking for more. Needed a better delivery that time from Young. Carrick. It's a tight call.
This is the only question there. It's right on the edge. I have to say, it's really poor from Gael Clichy at this level. To not have your shoulders opened up and know where the man is behind you, particularly someone with Fellaini's presence.
Well, what you can say is that current form is winning out against recent history. Manchester United with this wonderful run, which has lifted them into Champions League qualification. Automatic place in the Champions League, of course, you get from third. Maybe higher, because Arsenal still have to come here. But of course, United have to go to Chelsea.
See the City shading the attempts and shading the game in some ways. The only thing that matters is the top left. United have responded well to going a goal down.
Milner. You just feel Manchester City have had this poor run recently. What's their mental capacity going to be like now? This game has turned around so quickly from their fast start.
Well, we're going to find out the durability mentally, whether they can cope with it. They certainly played well in the game so far. I have to say, United, they've upped the tempo this last 5-10 minutes. You just mentioned it before the second goal, the speed of the game.
Navas, who's pretty quick himself. Zabaleta. Met by Demichelis. Fellaini, there's room for Ashley Young again. Manchester United with the momentum again. Solid piece of stopping there by Kompany.
And Plattenberg's position was fantastic. He was right on top of it. I have to say, the referee is having to work really hard to keep up with this game. It's end to end. He's knackered.
Well, his last derby game was the 6-1 here, which was 2011 now. I've seen that long ago. 6-1 to City, just in case you weren't aware of what I was talking about. Sent off Johnny Evans, who's still suspended, incidentally, from that incident. It was done on retrospective action from the FA at Newcastle. Tight on Aguero, Milner trying to nip in. Jesus Navas, Milner, comes a corner off Jones.
City still coming forward. He's made some good runs. We've got some good presence. Kompany, Torre, Di Michelis.
Back for Manchester United. Michelis who got to it. A little disappointed that there was no one there to provide another touch for his team. This is an experience for him in itself, but of course he's got another one to come, which you can see with us next Saturday at Stamford Bridge, Sky Sports 1 from 4:45. You shouldn't forget that Chelsea themselves have to go to Arsenal. There's still a lot of big games to come, but there's no doubt the Fabregas goal late on at Queen's Park Rangers earlier today is a vitally important one from Chelsea's perspective. You might feel his is in the same category here. Much earlier in the piece, and no suggestion at this stage, the way the game's gone, that it's going to be the deciding goal. Toure trying to get into his stride. And the ball for Aguero, well read by David De Gea.
Oh, what a pass by Toure. He's fantastic from David De Gea.
Looking for David Silva here.
And the ball was there. It came free in between them, just a little late from Silva.
Jones. Baletta's trying to steer it through. Valencia.
Most of United's danger, as in the game against Liverpool first half and against Tottenham, has been down that left channel. Both crosses coming from that side, Clichy not dealing with them, both of them. First they run inside him on the first goal and then at the back. But Fellaini does cause problems over there with Young and Blind. Got a good little pattern between them.
Here comes Valencia, both full-backs forward. United attack. Mata. Fellaini. Take it down rather than knock it across. Plays it in towards Rooney. Rooney still. Rooney still,
It's offside.
but the flag has gone up. You knew, Rooney didn't, I didn't.
On the first one, Mata just a little half turn, just on the edge again for Fellaini. So close. There was a little handball there, just kicks it up against his arm, Di Michelis.
The flag was already up. I think Louis van Gaal has done. He has played to Fellaini's strengths. A lot of talk since he was signed by Manchester United about what he can't do. But his time at Everton showed what he could do.
Well, there's been a big player for United in this last month, there's no doubt about that.
And Jones, but Milner was there, and De Gea had to make sure his kick avoided the closing down Manchester City man. Young. Here's Mata.
Well, it's been a big feature. That three over there, Daley Blind at left back, Young and Fellaini. This combination now caused problems for Liverpool and Tottenham in previous weeks, and now City.
Back by Carrick. And the flag has gone up. But the moment it didn't go up was the moment he headed Manchester United into the league.
That one the other night at Selhurst Park, Manchester City, that was on the edge of offside. And we've got another one here at Old Trafford. So difficult though, you're talking about in real-time play, a split second and a shoulder.
The advantage given to the attacker. Whatever happens in the remainder of this game, City have again failed to make a stern defence of their title. And at the moment, both in league positioning and in this match, they've got back below the long-time dominant force in Manchester. Fellaini roaming free again.
Starting to get real joy over there. I said this the other week when Tottenham played here. Yaya Touré's got to sink himself a little bit in on that right-hand side and just mark Fellaini. We mentioned it and highlighted it before the game. He's got to match his runs. It's impossible for Zabaleta. He's got Young. Rooney's been Kompany's been tied down by Rooney.
Aguero. Just got it through to Fernandinho. Milner. He set himself for the curler.
He leans back, James Milner. Well, this is the first goal for Gaël Clichy. As it comes forward, Fellaini making a nuisance of himself against Zabaleta, and the ball breaks free to Herrera, and just see here, ball circled. He doesn't get inside his man. I actually think Ashley Young should have gone with his left foot initially, but it breaks back to him. But Clichy's got to match that run, he's got to get there.
Kompany. Fellaini again.
City midfield's now starting to look a little bit tired. There you go. Yaya Zamblin.
And his cross. Clichy has been involved in a lot. Good going forward, but found out defensively.
did very well for the first goal. Obviously, City scored a good little bit of dribble. He's wiped that out since a couple of poor bits of defending.
Well, he's looked strained and stressed, Manuel Pellegrini, recently. He's been coping with a lot of questions about his future in his present job and about the future of his squad, really. He pointed out often enough so many of them around the 29-30 mark. Company was actually 29 on Friday. Growing old together. They've done a lot for Manchester City, that should not be forgotten. Referees always think twice when Ashley Young's involved. On him, rightly or wrongly.
There hasn't been too much of the game. Over that side.
Carrick.
Fernandinho and Yaya Toure have swapped. It's just for now. Whether it's something that Manuel Pellegrini's done and changed the way in which they're going to play. You see now as Fernandinho moves back into midfield, it's just maybe a momentary thing. It looks like Yaya Toure just is the right side still.
Demichelis. He's not going to be tight on Fellaini. He's got to give Manchester City a bit more going forward, hasn't he, Yaya Toure?
Well, I'm just looking at Fellaini now. You see him at the bottom of your screen. He's just gone off now. He's free all the time.
The company had to come out from the back to challenge him, and he did it well. Hooked drive, not one for Augusta, that from Joe Hart.
No, I think City were the better team for the first half now, but since United have been the better team.
Jones. Toure does get in the way this time. Milner finding Aguero. Valencia trying to make up the ground. Well, done a very good job.
It was a poor bit of play from Antonio Valencia positionally to start with, but then his pace and his aggression gets him out of it. He should step up here. Once Chris Smalling goes, he decides to go back. Antonio Valencia, but then he does really well to make sure that ball can't get slipped across to David Silva.
Rooney. Mata. Company. Been sent off in a Manchester derby.
Well, when someone of the scale and size of Vincent Kompany goes to ground and misses it, it always looks bad. He stepped out initially with Fellaini, the problem player that City have got, and once Fellaini laid it off, he followed it on and went to make the challenge on Blind. Well, interesting to see what Mark Clattenburg does. He's buying himself some time. He's looking at his assistant referee, asking for some advice. Well, tell me what it is.
That's Jake Collin.
I think he could be in trouble here, Vincent.
I do too.
The linesman said studs, and if he says studs, then he could be in trouble. Is it reckless? Well, this game's been ruined a few times with sendings off. It's not a great challenge from Vincent Kompany. He goes with his studs, it's in the air. It's a poor challenge. Is it a red card? I'm not sure, but it's a poor challenge. I know that's a risk.
The one thing the officials, and certainly the referee, having shown yellow rather than red, could take into account could be the conditions, I guess.
I'm glad he's not sent him off for the game's sake.
You said to me before the game about the responsibility of the referee.
That's the last thing I wanted before the game was a red card, because it would have ruined the match. But that is a real risky challenge from Vincent Kompany. Loss of composure.
Carrick.
The problem was for Vincent Kompany, he got pulled into an area he didn't want to be. Having to go into midfield and mark. And then he chased after it.
Yaya Toure is picking him up now. And this is exactly what United want to do, get the ball into that area. He's still winning the header against the big opponent.
Well, you say Yaya Toure is picking him up, Martin. It's nice of him.
Yeah.
You know, he's...
I know what you're saying.
You know, it's been there against, they've seen the games, they'll have watched the videos, I'm sure they were not surprised by what he's doing. He's run off him again.
Young, but you have seen enough of Yaya Toure to know that disciplined marking of an opponent isn't one of his stronger suits.
I just thought he might come here today and do a job for his team in a derby when they're playing well as well.
It's been a real feature of the first half. Fellaini gets the roll the ball past Toure, gets it back off Toure. Finds Valencia. Fellaini jogs towards the far post. Hoping Valencia can get a good angle for a cross here. Here it comes. Nothing complicated about it. He knocks it down for Rooney. Young's in there. Backing it up is Ander Herrera. And out comes Toure. This is what he can do so well.
That's a good pass.
Collected by Aguero on the outside of Jones. And they started this half so well, and they finish it in the same vein. This time. Here's Fellaini again. The majority inside the ground, roaring Manchester United forward. Another before half-time could really break City here. Rooney. Valencia, and good work by Zabaleta.
Well, if I could honestly off this screen show you Navas, Yaya Toure and Silva getting back there, it's a disgrace. But United, fantastic. Just jogging back there at the top of your picture. United relentless in this last 15 minutes, the pace in the attacks. And they're certainly trying to isolate full-backs at the back post. I thought Zabaleta did really well here to hold his ground and get his head on it.
This first half has been so much about mentality. Manchester United going behind, but having the strength of mind to come back with an equaliser from Ashley Young to go ahead through Marouane Fellaini. Manchester City reports that happened in the Premier League. They surely will have noticed, Manchester City, how effective Fellaini has been in the recent run of success for Manchester United. But noticing it and dealing with it, two different things. Demichelis is now the right-sided centre-back. Zabaleta.
I think with Kompany going off, more than a yellow card in the first half. He was on the edge anyway. Any other challenge he would have probably left the field, so it might not be the worst thing in the world for him to have been substituted from Manchester City's point of view.
Valencia. A very different type of approach on the right-hand side for Manchester United. Juan Mata, of course, who ran in behind so spectacularly to score at Anfield, but it's not quite the same thrust and build-up play as Young in support of Fellaini and Blind in support of Fellaini are bringing down the left.
No, I think they have a better pattern on this side with Young, Blind and Fellaini. They play the positions better. I think Herrera moves a little bit, Mata likes to move around a little bit. They're still doing quite well. I have to say the transformation in United's performance this last month has been excellent, been outstanding.
Fernandinho easing it forward where Jesus Navas has a chance to cross, does cross, and David Silva, Milner was in there, here's Aguero, trying to set up Yaya Toure for perhaps one of his blockbusters in that kind of position. Scored, of course, at Selhurst Park in the last game, which took him to 49. Goals. Demichelis. Aguero. A heavy first touch. A shove from Fellaini. Mangala. Taken up by Valencia. Thinking that he might steal it from Michael Carrick. A lot of players have done that, but been disappointed. Jones.
His influence in the game grew at the end of the first half, Michael Carrick.
Driven ball by Blind, controlled by Rooney. Intentions of Fernandinho work for City. Milner. Navas wants it back. And again, danger spotted by Carrick.
To hit the space, James Milner, he's shaking his head below us. He tried to cut off more of the pass than he needed to. Look at the grimace there.
I wonder what the future holds for him is with his contract talks on hold as to whether there will be a big breakup of this City squad. Very easy to say, not always so easy to do with players with longer contracts. They're not done yet, and they're certainly not done yet in this game, despite the disappointment of losing that early lead and now having to come from behind at the start of the second half.
It's whether in that half-time they could actually, Manuel Pellegrini could get into his players. The thought of the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the match, because that last 25 minutes they really were pressed hard, beaten well. The first 20 minutes they were good in the game.
Did get the goal coming down this left-hand side, their left-hand side. Clichy very much involved. Milner and Silva. It's a superbly constructed team goal. Jones. Young and Fellaini playing their way round three City players.
Again, it's the centre-back, Demichelis, who's finding himself being drawn out. And I wouldn't be bringing the right-side centre-back out that far. I really wouldn't. I think they've got to try and deal with it in a different way. It doesn't suit him either. It's what got Kompany into trouble in the first half and potentially may have injured himself.
Because Louis van Gaal knows all about him. They had a successful time together at Bayern Munich. And then he thought when he left there that his best days were behind him, but here he is 5 years later, still playing at a very high level. Put forward by Jones, headed on by Fellaini. Rooney. Mata coming infield. Jones. Reach by Yaya Toure. Might have had his defensive duties just outlined again at half-time. Carrick. Into Rooney. Clattenburg's been tough on players he's thought have gone down easily. He's going to give that. Rooney complaining about the earlier one. Jesus Navas catching Mata.
Well, the early one, it may have been a foul on Rooney, but he miscontrolled it. I think that's what maybe he just lost control of the ball, and I thought it was a little bit theatrical from Wayne Rooney. The second one's definitely a foul by Navas on Mata. Just trips him.
Well, this is a nice distance for the right-footed free kick takers.
I think
maybe even a left-footed one. That's the like the unorthodox version.
The wet surface as well might add to it if Wayne Rooney can get it to bounce in front of Joe Hart.
Going for the top corner, comes out to Young, and Young again, and that's Carrick on the real mess here, and the Herrera comes out to Valencia. Well, the game for City was right on the line there, and they had a block on the line.
It was like the Royal Rumble.
Navas has kicked the ball away here. It was panic stations around Joe Hart, but what a wonderful save in the first place to get across.
And he pushes the first one clear. I think he's a little bit fortunate on the second one that Michael Carrick hits it straight at him. And it's pinball. It's all going off.
And this is a
Smalling
reduced into the
Fellaini taking Di Michelis out of it. Rooney not asking for a foul that time.
Michelis has gone down,
Claiming
he was held in the face, and Mark Clattenburg stopped it for a head injury, and the minute he has, he jumps up. I'm not sure what he's doing to Michelis, saying it's an elbow. It didn't look great though, him getting up like he did. If you've been elbowed and you've got a crack in the jaw, then you're either down or you're not. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'm not sure he can book him for anything.
Unsporting behaviour?
Well, maybe. I doubt he will. It certainly didn't look good from Di Michelis. There's a challenge in the air from Fellaini. They're both jumping for the ball. Let's have a look at it, better angle now. There's a little bit of an arm. It probably is a foul on Di Michelis. He takes a little crack in the face. But it's this bit now. What is that?
The count got to 9.
Yeah.
Players will say that sometimes they have to exaggerate things to catch the eye of match officials. It might explain it, doesn't always excuse it.
He was lively for 20 minutes, Aguero. He's found it difficult since then. He's chasing shadows at the moment.
Bloomed. Carrick. Young. With Jones. Peachy's header only comes as far as Fellaini. Valencia. He could have clipped it in. Fellaini wasn't picked up.
Oh, he should have clipped it in. I don't know why he waited. Antonio Valencia was staring him in the face. Fellaini at the back post against Zabaleta.
Something we haven't pointed out, Gary, of course, the City pointed it out this week that United fresher played no European football.
Is that an excuse or a reason?
I think it's a fact, isn't it?
I think there are many a team who played European football over the years who've been able to compete at this time of season.
I think Graham Souness will have something to say in our studio about that.
I think when you've got a squad of 22 players, I think you've got to be able to compete on all fronts with the ambition of Manchester City and Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal. I don't think that can be used as a reason or an excuse, whichever way you want to look at it.
Valencia. Now, the comparison was made with Liverpool last season, having a very good season in the same circumstances. Very good season in the Premier League.
They've had a good break, Manchester City, before this game.
Navas coming into reverse. Well, Louis van Gaal would have emphasised the importance to his Manchester United players in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Particularly no incidents to get the referee reaching for his pocket. Louis van Gaal actually saying that the 5 red cards that his United team have received this season, plus the Johnny Evans episode, is the worst disciplinary record he's ever had in his managerial career in one campaign. Fernandinho. Now Toure on the ball and a bit further forward.
That's what Manchester City need. They need to try and get the ball into Silva and allow him to control the game. It's been all a little bit too fast for them at the start of the second half.
Milner. Here is Toure. Zabaleta wanting it slip through. Silva as well. Toure. David Silva raised his arm to suggest the ball was struck a United arm. Fellaini and Chris Smalling with a bit of sorting out to do. Blin. That's a bit lazy from David Silva and Aguero, both of whom are offside. So if you've got to match United's energy if they're going to get back in this game. Rooney. What a pass. Valencia. Rooney's roaring into the middle. Fellaini's already there. Young coming in at the far post. Mata on the edge of the area. Carrick. City have regrouped, but there's still Valencia. Mata. And Ashley Young's right in. Oh, what a the flag was up.
He ran past the ball, Ashley Young. just said before, Manchester City have got a match Manchester United's energy. They're not doing, whether they can's another question, but they're not. United's tempo is fantastic at the start of this second half and at the end of the first. And Michael Carrick is controlling this game.
Jones again emphasising the confidence that Manchester United have certainly got into their game. Spring has certainly sprung for them. Here's Aguero. Options to the other side, but Navas got David Silva coming in. We had Yaya Toure coming in. But Smalling got himself to the point of real danger.
Yaya Toure wasn't quite there. That's the one area, if you were City, you'd like to isolate a little bit more. Navas against Blind. But you can just see there, David Silva at the back, and Yaya Toure can't quite get across Chris Smalling to make the problem for him.
For the corner taker, Jesus Navas. Blind asking a little bit of Phil Jones. A little wrinkle in that piece of defending. An hour gone.
This last minute or so, Manchester City just a little bit of play down here below us on this right hand side.
Sammy Nasri has had a little spell on the sidelines, suggestions that he was out of favour with Manuel Pellegrini. Jones just gets a piece of it. Lynn does the rest. Mangala. Michaelis. Run on through Mark Clattenburg, I think playing an advantage here. And perhaps deciding there wasn't an advantage.
He looked at it and he looked at it and he looked at it. David Silva's not happy, but I don't think there was an advantage. I think the free kick there in a really good position, which was from Phil Jones, it was rash. Wayne Rooney there, you can see his reaction to it. He kicks James Milner in the back of the calf.
The medical issue here is always an interesting one, because once the physios come on, the player who's treated has to go off, and it's going to leave them one light at a free kick.
At the end of the game, for your own comfort, you may wish to remain in your seats until the stadium and four.
He's actually down here below us coming on. Not sure who he's coming on for. Wonder whether it could be for James Milner.
I think that was in the offing, Gary, before the challenge. John Moss is the fourth official.
Yeah, you can see the 7-up. So it is James Milner that's going to come off. It's whether now they can actually allow the substitute to come on.
Yeah.
See what Mark Clattenburg does.
Well, that is an interesting call, isn't it?
Well, he's saying not, I think.
He's saying the substitution isn't going to take place.
Yeah. No, he's saying he has to wait, which I'm not quite sure of that.
Substitution for Manchester City, replacing the second James Milner.
Can happen.
Fourth official, John Moss. We're going to get on with it.
He just chucked him on.
So they have got 11 players treated on the field, is off for good. And it's to the back post where Wayne Rooney came underneath the ball and Don Michaelis headed it back.
Manuel Fellaini did really well. You see him win headers in the box, but there he's alive on the second ball.
It's only his 40th game this season for club and for country. So, bearing in mind we're in the middle of April, not everyone is overworked. Not much more than a game a week, is it? Carrick. Fellaini. So in steps Demichelis. For a short time in his career, played under Manuel Pellegrini at Villarreal in Spain. And defended by Clichy.
Silva's gone to number 10, Mazza's on the left for City.
On the left for United is Young, just running out of room. Started the last 7 now, Ashley Young. That was in the team earlier in the season and he had a hamstring problem on New Year's Day. He's one of those fighting for his Manchester United career and is brought purposely really from pre-season where he did well out in the States. Louis van Gaal was eyeing everyone up for the first time.
It's been a and for Fellaini and for Mata, times last season it was so difficult for them, but they've come to the fore. Ashley Young all season, Mata and Fellaini in these last couple of months.
Blind. United have 2 more home games after this against West Brom and then Arsenal. As we've told you earlier, of course, as you knew already, they had to go to Chelsea next Saturday, and Everton and Palace and Hull. Carrick. Herrera. Mata joining in. Jones. Quick moving of the football again by Manchester United. It might open up City here with Juan Mata. Can he go all the way? A real chance to wrap the game up, which it should do at 3-1. He really does have an eye for goal. And United were slick. City suffer again.
Well, we've seen 2 magnificent team goals down this side. The first Manchester City one and now this one. I said Manchester City going to have to deal with it differently. Dimichelis on the edge of offside. He's just off, I think, his left foot. But it's so tight for the linesman. But that looks like game over. Manchester City have got a real job to do here. The play down this side, they've been torn apart from 20 minutes in. And Dimichelis being pulled out of position has left that huge gaping hole in that Manchester City right side of the defence that Mangala and Zabaleta can't fill. And it's just a question of whether Mata can finish it. He's composed and he slips it through Joe Hart's legs. And that's as much as we've seen Louis van Gaal celebrate and De Gea. They know they're on to a great team performance again here today.
Well, he had to come over to this side of the pitch to get in a goal, but when he did, he made it count. 2 at Anfield and a derby goal for Juan Mata as well. And Mangala just heads off Rooney. Still a quarter of the game to go, but given the way it's gone for Manchester City recently, the heads are hanging.
Well, they're going to have to show something here now, Manchester City. The crowd, they're not going to go anywhere. The United team are not going to go anywhere. It's been a really good team performance from United. And City, after a promising start to the game, as United up the tempo, they've not been able to live with it.
Here's Valencia. United trying to turn this into a demolition derby. Jones. Young. Right behind on Martin Dimichelis. Three goals and finally a corner. Which Mata will take, the man of the moment. Away by Zabaleta.
We will see Dzeko for City, a bit more presence up top.
Pellegrini had to make a call about Edin Dzeko because he wasn't very good at Crystal Palace. Dzeko would be the first to admit that. But he's got a very good record in this ground. 4 Premier League goals he scored for City, plus 1 for Wolfsburg in the Champions League. He made his move to England.
You think it has to happen quickly. City need to get back in this game quickly if anything's going to happen for them.
Go back to 2006, find the last time that City within the same season lost 4 away league games in a row. It was a very different Manchester City in those days in terms of the financial backing. Old Trafford is rocking.
It's not been like this Old Trafford for about 2 years. But we can sense they're starting to see a team grow. Tottenham was a glimmer, Liverpool a little bit of confirmation, but this today against a really good Manchester City team, I don't think give the fans real hope here. But Louis van Gaal is finally having a big impact on them.
Rubbing it into Manuel Pellegrini at the moment, the United fans.
It's important for United players to understand the quality that's still out on that pitch for City. A goal gets them back into this game. City at the moment, they do look a little dejected out there.
It will be Pellegrini's first defeat as a manager against Manchester United. 3 derby wins, and before that 4 games in the Champions League with Villarreal, all 0-0, oddly enough. Don't see many derby draws these days, Gary, do we? Often used to be the sort of compromise position, maybe going back, showing my age, when 1 point for a draw against 2 for a win was regarded as a good return for your efforts in a local clash. City are going to draw this, we're going to get a dramatic finale. No sign of it. More likely Manchester United widening their margin. Young.
They've been able to do what they want down this side. It's been a graveyard for Manchester City, this left channel. It really has. All goals coming from this side.
Was that the word you used about Tottenham as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a free kick from the left side. Two of the goal scorers over the ball, looking for number 4. The flag has stayed down. Chris Smalling in on the act. It is the demolition derby at Old Trafford today.
Smalling has scored. It's a mauling for City. They're trying to push up. He's not. There's someone at the back behind Michael Carrick. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Mangala. Not sure why he's back there. He goes back in. It's Mangala that got. What's Mangala at the back there with Yaya Toure? He goes back in, plays them all onside. It's a free header for Chris Smalling. He just has to use the pace on the ball to get a glance. But Mangala, what are you doing at the back? The rest of them sort of half hold the line. He would have been offside if it hadn't been for the City centre-back. But now, this is a painful, painful afternoon. And he's got his head down.
Frank Lampard for Navas. All the three previous scorers for Manchester United got their first goals in Manchester derbies. For Smalling, it's his second. He scored in Community Shield at Wembley when they came back from 2-0 down. Offside against Aguero. Well, April is the cruelest month, that's the quote, isn't it? T.S. Eliot didn't really have football in mind, but the quote can apply to the game as ambitions become more clearly unfulfilled at this time of the year, particularly when expectations have been high as they have been with Manchester City. Off comes Phil Jones. Placed by Marcus Roja. One thing, again, it's perhaps the reason why the side's doing so well, Gary. We talked over the first half of the season, week in, week out, game in, game out, about Manchester United players being injured. That Louis van Gaal's regime was too tough for them.
Well, we've settled down now. He's not going to change. Louis van Gaal, I have to say now, he's starting to see the fruits of his labour. Because you can see the patterns that are starting to develop.
Well, I think it's the labour of the players that they're seeing the fruits, aren't they, for the work that they put in over the first half of the season. But for those who've had plenty to cheer in local derbies in recent seasons, glum is the expression. From Smalling, I think, you know, you're getting the hang of this commentary lark.
Think about United's season now, and you look back at those months where the performances weren't there, but the results were. They were showing signs of being a team, but not through performance, through resilience and other qualities that you need. Now the performances are starting to match. I have to say, it looks pretty good at the moment. These performances against Liverpool, Tottenham and City have been fantastic at a really high level.
check it out against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge next Saturday with us.
That will be interesting.
David Silva, put Aguero in here. United not slacking. Valencia is the player not slacking in that particular instant.
Well, from City's point of view, from such a promising start, as soon as the game ramped up a gear, United started playing, they've wilted.
Well, there were two possible scenarios you felt coming into the game. One, that City would rise to the occasion, push the disappointments of recent weeks behind them, and it looked like that might be the main thrust of the tale from this derby. But the other story was that Manchester United won 5 in a row, and they would carry that on with confidence and class, and that has been the way it's panned out.
United look more unified, more of a team in terms of the way they're playing.
He's showed a bit of his sternness recently, Louis van Gaal. I can understand why. A smile at the moment, though. And for Robin van Persie, how am I going to get back in this team? Rojo. Blin. Slightly and understandably taking their foot off the gas in terms of the speed of the passing. But at the moment they quickened it up, Mata got in, didn't he? Yeah. And then, of course, the set piece plonked on the head of Smalling, as the second goal was plonked on the head of Fellaini.
They're getting booed a couple of months ago for passing it around the back, Manchester United, but they weren't 4-1 up in games when they were doing it. And he stayed strong, Louis van Gaal. He never changed. He had complete confidence in what he was doing.
Blin had a foot to it. Rojo got a head to it. 50-50 balls, really. It went United's way. Clichy. And being there with a foot in. David Silva. Off goes Clichy. Back again. With the greater power. Antonio Valencia with the greater power in Manchester at the moment. Manchester United. And a substitution with we knew Di Maria was coming on. Juan Mata.
Well, he scored an important goal at Anfield. He scored an important goal again. But watch Di Michelis get dragged out into a position, a false position, and then that gaping hole between right back and left centre back, and he just takes it through Mata, and there's his big moment in the match.
Keeping Di Maria out, and that takes a bit of doing.
Well, if you said at the start of the season that Angel Di Maria would be kept out of the team by Juan Mata as a winger and Ashley Young, I think you've said you're mad. But it's happened. They've both done really well. And Di Maria's having to fight for his place.
competition is the essence of success. There's no one resting on their laurels in red, even though they're 4-1 up. Here's David Silva. Now Lampard. Aguero. That would have been a great way to reach his 100.
It was floated up nicely for him by Frank Lampard.
Ryan Giggs, who for many years sort of summed up the rivalry between United and City, and United's long-time superiority over their local rivals, because they got Giggs and City didn't, and it could have gone either way. Di Maria, who's made 10 Premier League goals in his first season with Manchester United. Maybe a little selfishly looking to add to the 3 that he's scored in the Premier League. Young. Valencia fights up.
Good play down the right-hand side this time for United. We'll see Falcao.
He's had a major contribution again, Marouane Fellaini. I just wonder what David Moyes thinks of all this.
This is a resurrection. If you could get a picture of this ground standing up for Marouane Fellaini.
I don't know what tops it off more for United, a Wayne Rooney goal or a Falcao goal. Clattenburg gives the free kick, of course, he supervised a 6-1 here for City. Boot on the other foot. Rooney, if he is going to score, he's going to have to do it from a deeper position. Carrick. Falcao. Young. Let's run off. Falcao for Di Maria. Stop. His Argentina colleague, Di Michelis.
He just couldn't pull the ball with him, Di Maria. He was a little bit behind him.
Young.
It's been a terrible 3 or 4 months for City. They've only won 4 out of the last 15 games in all competitions.
Di Maria. Mangala tackling on his stronger side.
They find themselves in 4th place. Pellegrini's men 4 points behind United, it looks like, and 5 behind Arsenal. Who'd have thought that? I genuinely believe that they were the only team capable of challenging Chelsea this season for the Championship.
If they don't buck up, they are going to be challenged for Champions League qualification. Liverpool we'll see on Sky Sports Monday Night Football against Newcastle.
And those experienced players got to get a grip in that change room and pull themselves together for the rest of this season.
Well, you used the word resurrection about some Manchester United careers. Are we looking at the obituaries to some of this Manchester City squad? I mean, is it going to be that drastic?
Well, I think there'll definitely be some casualties out of this last 3 or 4 months. There's no doubt about that.
And the manager?
Well, I think the manager You could argue that he'll come under pressure, but I think the players certainly. There's some weeds in the garden.
Carrick. Lind. Nasri was chasing back, but he wasn't quite sure where the ball was. Well, the rarity of Manchester City losing, having scored first. The relative rarity of them losing a derby, of course, after 4 consecutive wins, and losing here at Old Trafford after 3 successes on the bounce. Michael Carrick's limping. Wayne Rooney's been filling in for him. He'll take a little bit of the gloss off the day. Having a look at the bench.
He's going to have substitutions, Manchester United, so there's a problem.
Knock on, Di Maria on, Falcao on. He's come off, Carrick. He's going to play out with 10 men, 3 minutes plus added time. Young. Oh, goodness me, how it would rub salt in the wound if they score again with 10 men. Just the place between them in the table, but the current gap between United and City in terms of confidence and just the general feeling of well-being, feel-good factor and all that, been emphasised by the way this game has unfolded. Rojo stopping it, getting through to Lampard, and might have been offside. Toure. And here's Zabaleta, well found by Lampard. The cutback for Aguero. He couldn't keep it out. The 100 is up for Sergio Aguero. The personal landmark on an otherwise dismal day for Manchester City. He scored very early and he scored very late to move from 98 to the century mark.
They've scored, I expect them to be sprinting back. There's still probably going to be 4 or 5 minutes left in this game. United are down to 10 men. It's a good run from Zabaleta beyond Ashley Young and pulls it back towards Aguero, but they've treated it like a consolation goal, Manchester City. They must still be, they've not had the board up yet, but you would think there's 3 or 4 minutes with injuries and substitutions.
Just 158 games it's taken him, which is the fastest ever by a Manchester City player. Falcao. Goodness me, it's gone quiet. Picked off by Ander Herrera. Falcao. Still 4 players forward for United then. Maybe a gap or 2 for City to try and exploit.
I'm not quite sure City have realised that actually United are down to 10 men, or United have.
Nasri. Fernandinho. Still could be an interesting finish here. Zabaleta's on the run again.
Sergio Aguero should have waited for him. Look who's been communicated to by Zabaleta. Who's in again.
The referee has indicated a minimum
3
of
minutes.
3 minutes of added time.
Manchester City have hurt Manchester United. You'll remember with 2 late goals, not against them, but take a title from them. Toure. Nasri.
They need to get the ball forward, City.
They've done that to Aguero. Lampard's unmarked at the far post, and Valencia made sure the ball didn't get to him.
Orthodox by Valencia. Back heel clearance, but it was effective.
Here comes Ander Herrera and the turbocharged Valencia. I'm sure they haven't realised they're down to 10.
No, they're not. They can't have done. I'm not sure City have or United have recognised that Michael Carrick's gone off and left United short.
Man of the match, Gary.
Well, it's been a few good performances for United, but I think other than that little bit of defending there from Ashley Young, 1 goal, 2 assists, he's the man of the match. He's been fantastic in the last few weeks and this season. He's been excellent today.
Aguero's on a hat-trick, which hasn't happened for a Manchester City player since 1970, when Francis Lee got 3 here. That is in a derby.
The second goal from City was definitely treated as a consolation.
Well, we had the first word, the last word has come from Manchester United. Michaelis sees it out. Manchester United, despite conceding the late City second goal, on the verge of seeing it out with a huge success. United have their bragging rights back in Manchester. A 6th consecutive victory. City a pale imitation of the champions they were. Ashley Young played a big part in showing that, scoring an equaliser after Aguero's early goal. Fellaini made it 2-1, Mata 3-1, Smalling 4-1 before Aguero completed his century for the club late on. It's a 4th away defeat in a row in the Premier League. That's their worst run for City for 9 years. The support stands firm. The team not looking so firm. They're looking more and more in need of an overhaul, in truth. There has been a terrific squad, very successful too, with plenty of derby victories to their name, but United have had their pit stop in that respect, and they are really racing again. Manchester United 4, Manchester City 2.
The wait over for those United fans.